Hi there, this is Joe from ShopTo, and I'm joined by Dan.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Just Cause 3, or as I like to call it, Just Loading Because 3.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about this already.
Yeah. Oh, it does like to load, so it does.
Yeah.
Especially if you get killed, you just kind of stare at a constant loading screen, unfortunately, which is a bit bizarre. It's a very, I mean, it starts as it means to go on with loading, because right at the very beginning, it's like, it's just loading.
Right. Well, but actually, I mean, what's the game we got here? I mean, I played the first one, wasn't that fussed about the second one because I thought I got so much of the action that I required from the first game. I didn't need to go back to it. So what's happening in this third one?
Well, it's made by the same studio, obviously, Avalanche Studios. It's like an open world sort of action adventure, I guess, in it. The sort of main characters, Rico Rodriguez, I think I said that right. He's left the agency to return to his homeland of Medici or something like that.
Yep.
I wrote it down. I kind of did one writing, and it's like a fictional island, and it's in the control of a dictator, General Ravioli or something. I don't think it's General Ravioli, but you know what I mean. It's somewhat, and he just so basically Rico's gonna just take back the island by exploding everything in sight, basically.
So I take it as General was actually bad, or does Rico just decide that he wants to take over?
Oh no, he's like a dictator.
Oh, fair enough then. This looks like this is my hometown. I'm back.
So, right near the beginning of the game, you're sort of learning your sort of basic manoeuvres. Got your parachute and your grappling hook. So you're firing the grappling hook, then pushing the button, and then you're sort of parachuting through the air and taking control of cars and helicopters, and he's sort of got his trademark sort of rocket launcher on his back, blowing all sorts of things up.
Well, I remember that it was quite fluid on the first game. I mean, is it still the same here that you can use your grapple on the back of a car and fly off and use your paraglider and go somewhere else?
Actually, I mean, I know I started the review quite negative in terms of the loading screens, and that's fair enough because they are pretty bad. But I mean, it's actually, if you just want something that you don't really want to take seriously, then it's actually a really fun game.
Is it like mission based? Because I remember you talking about Lara Croft.
Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's really like Rise of Tomb Raider is very cinematic, very impressive game, but this isn't really. It's got that cinematic bit to it, but it's not really that impressive, I wouldn't say. In terms of the story, it's not something that's going to pure grip you. It's just a case of helping people out and shooting and blowing stuff. To be honest, I think most people just ignore the story. They'll do the missions, obviously, but you're just kind of going in to kind of just blow stuff up.
Well, it was a big explosive play box, wasn't it? I mean, you can blow up so much stuff. I've seen. I've not played the second one. I've seen lots of footage for like the different versions of the PC where you've got hundreds of people charging around blowing up all these barrels and stuff, so it does look very cool. Yeah,
it's quite fun just going, and I mean, I've recorded, you'll see it in the video with our chat, I recorded some of the explosions I've done, and it's just crazy. I think I blew myself up a few times as well, which is fun. And you have this new wingsuit as well, and it told you, alright, jump off the cliff, right? So I jumped off the cliff and it said push the button to use the wingsuit. So I pushed the button, but then after that it never told you what to do. So I just kept crashing into the ground, like committing suicide about 3 times in a row before I figured out that you use the thumbstick. But I was pushing down on the thumbstick, I think, whereas it's more like a sort of airplane sort of thing where you need to pull up.
Yeah.
So for some reason I never figured that out, and I just kept jumping into the ground.
That's a novice mistake, that is.
That was like 3 times in a row with waiting on those loading screens, and it was so funny because my wife was watching me the first time I done it, and she saw that I never figured out how to do it, and he just hit the ground. She went, I'm what are you doing that for? So yeah, it's quite funny. There's I like right at the start. I like the way you get in the action, can blow stuff up right away, like using helicopters and stuff.
That's good.
And there's, I guess there is direction, but sometimes if you're not paying attention, like I get in this tank where I was fighting against these rebels, but it said to get in the tank, but I wasn't really paying attention, so I was just sort of running along shooting them all. And I'm thinking, oh, this is quite hard. And of course I was meant to be in the tank blowing them all to pieces. But it's quite nice, you can do it any way you want. The thing I'd say about the actual gunplay is that it almost feels like you're ice skating. When you're trying to shoot them, you're running from side to side, trying to target onto them, and it feels like characters on skates or something.
Right.
I mean,
there's a few games I've played where I feel like a bit like that. It's still just getting used to how they've sort of created the movement, isn't it?
But it's just crazy. There's just so much. I mean, you've got, like I say, you've got your parachute, your grappling hook, you've got this new wingsuit, and there's just all these other crazy weapons, like your sort of rocket launcher, your short guns, and all these vehicles as well, like fighter planes and helicopters and ships and cars, and it goes on and on. I mean,
so
it's
pretty
just,
much if you see it, you can get in it and use it. Is that the kind of the...
Yeah, it's because I'm getting this really cool looking sports car to drive to the city, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. So I drove to the city, but I noticed sort of when I was driving quite a high speed that the frame rate drops quite a bit.
Right.
So that's something pretty negative about the frame rate. But I mean, it's who cares? Do you know what I mean? It's like the loading. Yeah, I care about that.
Well, what I'll ask you about loading, actually, I know we've already mentioned it, but it's an open world. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how does the loading? Why does it load then? If it's an open world, what is it? You go to a certain area, then it loads the next area, or
yeah, it loads maybe at the start. I think it loads maybe at the start of a mission. Obviously, it loads every time you get killed. You have to wait in the loading screen.
So I mean, so you can kind of almost forgive the fact that it's having to load for so long because it's every time it's creating a new massive world for you.
Yeah, I guess if you're just exploring, yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, it depends what you're doing. I mean, the loading, yeah, that's a problem. The frame rate, I don't really care about, because I mean, it's just one of those games where it's like, yeah, this is fun. I'm going to explode stuff. I'm going to just run about like an idiot and not really care about the story or whatever. I just want to blow stuff up and just have fun.
So there's only a few games that kind of pick up on that. I remember Crackdown being a similar game where the storyline got put to the side and people started learning about the physics and stuff inside the game. Obviously, Just Cause, and there was the Crisis games as well. Again, it was all bound that there's so much information involved in the physics that you could just create your own little games inside their world that they've made for you, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. You can just do what you want. I mean, you've got your grappling hook, you can just attach it to statues and bridges and like just pull them all down and blow them up. And it's just, I mean, there's these challenge modes as well. It's sort of, you can play as well that will have mini games in them, wingsuit races and stuff. So I mean, there's quite a lot to do and it's quite fun. So I mean, I don't know, I think it's okay actually.
I mean, would you recommend it, considering this time of year it's quite jam-packed with releases? I mean, how would you fare it compared to other titles? Or is it in its own there to say, you know what, even if it's something very different, this is a great game to go for?
Yeah, I mean, it's the sort of game that if you just can't be bothered concentrating on a story or don't want to play multiplayer or whatever, you just want to sit and get lost and blow stuff up and just wander around, just not care about much else.
Sometimes that's all you want in games, isn't it?
Then it's perfect for that. Cool. I mean, it's quite a fun game, so yeah, go for it. If you're considering it, just go for it, because it's quite fun. Okay, so don't forget that you can order this game from ShopTo. We also have a new bundle builder where you can build bundles and you can probably add the game to that as well, so check that out too. Thanks for joining us and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.